Hi, I'm Dr. Frank Sovinsky, and welcome to another episode in DC Mentor vlog. And I don't know why, but I'm continuing my conversation with Dr. Nathan Unruh. And actually, I know why, because we've had so many topics. You know, you being an author, you being involved in leadership. I mean, not just leadership in the word. You know, we're all leaders and we're all servants in our practices, but you've taken it and kind of gone nuts with it because that's how you think. You think on the level that this is what I'm here to serve. Put me in, coach, right?
Right.
Just as and by the way, you look tall. Are you also a basketball player?
I have been.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are you any good?
I don't know. It depends who you ask.
Ask you. What do you think?
Well, absolutely.
This is like you
I'm
kill it.
really-
Okay.
I'm
You
really
just
good.
are you just like draining things from anywhere you want? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So just we established now that you're also a bit like me, functioning in narcissism.
Yes.
So you know, on not a serious topic, but I think you have not only from your stature, physical stature, but from the stature and the things that you've accomplished already in your career. But this isn't a eulogy. This is saying you have a positioning point where you're really standing and looking. We're surrounded in this wonderful area here. You can look through the woods and you can say, you know, in that meadow, here's what I see coming. And we were talking about a topic about this home health thing that seems to, if we do switch in this country, and again, for those of you who are watching this from other countries, just pay attention, because socialized medicine still has a potential that's either that we have to look at and say what do we need to look for. So if you're looking in the crevices right now in the profession, what earlier you said you're going to protect. You want to protect. What do you want to teach us?
Over the last few years, we're seeing lots of things changing. In my practice, we've been up to this point a heavy insurance-based model. What we're seeing is deductibles are going up. The fees for services are being reimbursed lower or not being reimbursed at all.
Mm-hmm.
Patient visits are being limited. The insurance companies, they have to change their model because of what's coming down the pipe from the government.
What do you mean that? So we never think about the insurance company from it. I've never heard anybody express that point, because everybody thinks insurance bad, chiro is good, doctor good. So when you say they have to change their model, you really got my attention. What do you mean?
Well, with the current environment that's going on here in the United States, this idea you referred to earlier about the medical home, that's going to affect dramatically of who's making the decisions for the patient as far as the care, who also is going to be paying it, and how's that money going to get dispersed. So,
let me back up just a second, so
yeah.
that as I look at the medical home, because I just hear people thinking, okay, I got a medical home. That's a metaphor for a structured or a cluster or an organization that's going to be delivering health care. Is that, how would you describe the visual thing? So it's not that at home, people are not in the same proximity, correct?
Correct.
Physically? Okay.
Correct. Within the medical home, there's a number of people that are going to be invited to play within this home. They're not going to be physically all in one area, but they're going to, it's like a mini mall. And in part of that mini mall, are you going to be involved in that or not? And I'm going to be the guy that's going to decide whether or not you are. And right now, we don't know as chiropractors if we are going to be invited to that table and to be a part of the mini mall, if you will. So I think that there's some work to be done if we're going to be. But as I looked at that, and I looked at the insurance companies and what's being changed, the model's changing whether or not we like it.
Okay.
So versus of having to make a decision in a state of duress, I started looking around and try to be strategic, and that's what brought me to DC Mentors and looking at the model that you guys teach and coach and mentor doctors through, which is going to be viable no matter what happens.
Oh, nice.
So.
No book we discussed earlier, Michael Gerber's book, the most successful small businesses in the world, and one of the principles in there was it's our duty as a small business owner and as a leader with stakeholders is to make our businesses viable in all economic environments. So the insight I hear today is protecting the profession by saying to everybody, really wake up. This is not like scare tactics. I have never been about scaring anyone. We've been talking about this model. We teach this model because that's how we practiced this model before. It doesn't mean that people that weren't practicing the model of being viable, of being able to exist as a small business owner outside of sensitive to the reimbursement model, but not dependent upon it.
In that discussion, the important thing I think to remember is the scare component to it. Chiropractors are scared, what's going to happen to my practice? I think we got to look at it with a bright light on it and be very optimistic. It could be a very good thing for our profession.
I want to actually make you give me why you have evidence of that, because this whole, I know you've been thinking about it, but I'm going to carry that in another conversation, right?
Great.
You've had enough coffee.
Yes.